How is the RTX 4060 doing in the latest games as of January 2025? Can we still expect it to run games at 60 plus FPS with all the graphic settings maxed out at native 1080p? Let's find out. To test this, I paired the Asus RTX 4060 Dual with the Ryzen 7 9800X3D CPU as part of the Be Quiet PC build powered by MSI. If you're interested in any of the products featured in this video, you can find them on Amazon at the links in the description below. Let's start with Path of Exile 2, 1080p resolution, NVIDIA DLSS enabled, so this is native resolution, and all the graphic settings are maxed out, including shadow and GI quality. It is set to Ultra, and we are not using dynamic resolution or dynamic culling because these settings are actually lowering the image quality. This actually looks promising. Inside of the town, we're getting well above 60 FPS, 69, nice. Pretty good, sometimes even 70 plus. And as we start engaging a lot of enemies, let's see what happens. Yes, 55, 49 FPS was the lowest number I've seen. So it's not quite 60 plus FPS consistently. And that means that there is some room for improvement. Luckily, there is one setting that is quite expensive, but it doesn't really change the overall visual presentation all that much. I'm talking about shadow plus GI quality. We can set it to high, and right away you can see a massive FPS boost. 100 plus FPS in this particular scene. And even if we engage a lot of enemies, check it out, we're still staying at 80 plus FPS. Let's see, start casting, 57. 57 was the lowest number I've seen. But yeah, this is quite good. Brilliant experience. I would consider it a pass in terms of like 60 plus FPS. Yeah, because this game still has some optimizations to do. It's not as optimized as I would have liked it to be. There is one more way we can improve performance even further, and that is DLSS resolution upscaling. Let's set it to quality mode and see what happens. Same location with lots of enemies. We're getting 90 plus FPS so far. But once we start using our skills, it drops to around 70-ish. Still, not bad. That is above 60 FPS at all times, which is nice. Oh my, take a look at that. Still, 70 plus, 75, 74. Pretty good. In terms of image quality, to my eyes, 1080p native already looks quite bad. So, lowering the image quality just a little bit further with DLSS quality mode is not a huge deal, especially since we're getting that much more FPS. Next up is STALKER 2, and we are at native 1080p resolution, field of view is set to 100, epic graphics quality preset, that is the absolute maximum, and NVIDIA DLSS selected, which means that we're at native resolution. Everything else is set to epic. This game is the toughest challenge for the RTX 4060 because it was built in Unreal Engine 5 and it features software ray tracing. Generally, Unreal Engine 5 games are GPU heavy, and you can see that right off the bat because we're getting 40 plus FPS. While this is playable, this is not exactly a 60 plus FPS experience that we're looking for. Because our base FPS is quite high already, 40 plus, we can try and improve image fluidity by enabling DLSS frame generation. And this actually works quite well. Yeah, and the responsiveness of the controls is actually quite good. I think this is the way to go. This is a good experience. The crosshair is pointing exactly where I want it. There is just a slight delay, but it is minimal. After about 5 minutes of gaming, I usually don't feel this minor latency. Yeah, I think this is pretty good if you want to experience the game in its full glory, epic graphics quality, then enabling frame generation is actually worth it. It's been a few minutes already, and as I was expecting, indeed, I can no longer feel the latency. It is fine. The controls are responsive, at least responsive enough for me to enjoy the game. Let's see if we can achieve this kind of level of performance if we disable frame generation and enable DLSS quality mode. Indeed, we are now getting 60 plus FPS, and this is one of the most GPU demanding levels in the game. This is Pripyat, there's a lot of trees, foliage, buildings, and it's raining. Yeah, this is a good experience, although, as with any previous game, there is a slight image quality tax when you enable resolution upscaling at 1080p. It's not like at 4K, when you enable DLSS quality, it basically looks exactly the same as 4K native. At 1080p, that's not the case. We're losing quite a lot of detail in smaller objects, such as tree branches that are slightly further away. Yeah. Grass as well. Doesn't look as nice. Let's add frame generation on top of that. In terms of image fluidity, this is amazing. 90 plus FPS, epic graphics quality preset. It's quite good. This is not quite the high refresh rate experience that you may want, but 90 plus FPS is definitely a level up from 60 plus. I appreciate it. I wonder, will we be able to achieve a 60 plus FPS experience without the help of DLSS frame generation and resolution upscaling? For that, we'll have to try lowering the graphics settings. Let's set it to high. We're close, but not quite there. FPS dips to around 50-ish. I've seen 51, which means that there might be some scenes in the game where it will drop below 50 altogether, yeah. And that is not nice. If we are looking for that 60 plus FPS experience consistently, oh, I've seen 50 just then. You see, we're very close to dropping below 50. But we are not using resolution upscaling. This is native experience. As a result, the image quality is nicer. And we still have a lot of VRAM left, 2.8 gigabytes available, so, oh, 48 FPS just then. You see? That's what I was talking about. Alright, back to what I was saying. Because we have a lot of VRAM available, there is no issue with, using frame generation. And it doesn't lower the image quality, so might as well kick that on and see what happens. This is pretty good. The gameplay is smooth, and the controls responsiveness is brilliant compared to what we had on Epic quality preset with frame generation enabled. This is good. I don't even have to get used to that slight latency. The latency is just good as is. And the game still looks good using the high graphics quality preset. I mean, comparing to Epic, I can't spot any differences right off the bat, just, with the naked eye, without side-by-side comparison. Yeah, this looks good. If I wanted to play this game using the RTX 4060 at 1080p, then this is the set of settings that I would use. High graphics quality preset, frame generation enabled, no resolution upscaling. Let's disable frame generation once more and lower the graphics quality to medium, because I'm curious to see what it takes to actually get that 60 FPS experience at native resolution without using DLSS. Okay, we are at 62 to 65 FPS. Let's see if it will drop. Yes, it drops below 60, 58, 57. So even at medium graphics quality preset, we can't really expect a consistent 60 plus FPS experience out of this game using the RTX 4060. And that is wild. I mean, these Unreal Engine 5 games are kind of getting out of control because visually, I can't say that they look particularly great, especially when we're talking about Stalker 2. Yes, it looks nice, but there are a lot of elements in the game that don't look particularly nice. I'm talking about trees primarily. Yeah. I would have liked a better experience because sometimes game developers, they make certain artistic choices that make the graphics work really well in the game. And this is not one of them because, yeah, I'm not happy with the foliage in this game, especially when we are moving through the world sometimes. Well, not sometimes, but all of the time I can see that pop-in. Let me just explain better what I mean. As we move through the world, the level of detail changes drastically. Those trees are just popping. That one just popped. Another one just popped. More and more trees are popping in. And this is breaking my immersion. Although, to be fair, this world has a lot of elements. It is very detailed, so I guess that is the trade-off. You kind of have to make certain choices when you make the game, and yeah, this is one of those choices. But I really wish there were an option that is higher than Epic for future GPUs to increase the level of detail in the distance. For example, when the RTX 5090 comes out, it will have a lot of GPU power to handle these things better, so it would be nice to have that option, but it is what it is. Also, medium graphics quality preset doesn't look as nice as high or Epic. I can definitely see the difference, even without a side-by-side comparison. The lighting is different, shadows are different. I definitely prefer high graphics quality preset. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is the perfect example of why 8GB graphics cards are going out of style. That is, if you want to play your games at high or even ultra settings. Because check this out, we are at 1080p, medium quality preset, and the game is already telling us that we are exceeding the VRAM requirements. Although in reality, we still should be fine using medium graphics quality preset. And just to demonstrate, there's 4 more levels to the graphics quality. After that, very high, supreme, that increases the texture pool size. Yeah, but we can't go above medium. The jungle level is one of the most demanding levels in the game, and we can see right away that indeed we are using almost all of the VRAM that we have, 7.5 gigabytes, which means that we don't have any left to use frame generation to improve image fluidity. And frame generation is one of the main features of the RTX 40 series GPUs. And we can't use it, simply because there is not enough VRAM. Although overall, this experience is still okay. The game looks fine. Not as good as on the highest quality presets. That would have been nicer, and the GPU can handle it. Check it out. This is one of the most demanding scenes in the game, and we're getting well above 80 FPS, even reaching 90 from time to time. So the GPU is fine. The VRAM is the limitation. If the 4060 had 16 gigabytes of memory, we would have been able to enjoy this game in its full glory with maximum graphics. Take a look at this other scene. We are inside of the museum, 115 FPS in some cases. Yeah, this is awesome. Oh, 120. So there's so much GPU compute headroom left to render higher quality graphics. By the way, I always admire how power efficient the 4060 is. 110 to 115 watts usually. Yeah, that is low. This is the GPU for summer times. If you don't have air conditioning, I don't have it in this flat, so during the summer times this is the perfect GPU. Doesn't produce much heat, performs quite well. I wish it had 16 gigabytes of memory. Let's see what happens if we enable resolution upscaling. Let's set it to quality mode. Oh my, take a look at that. High refresh rate experience right here. Above 160 FPS in some scenes. This is insane. And we have 1 gigabyte of video memory left, so we can try enabling frame generation. Let's give it a go. Frame generation on. And we're not getting that many more frames. 180 plus FPS in here, 170 plus. That's pretty awesome, but our VRAM usage is sky high. So I'm not sure if we would be able to actually keep playing with frame generation enabled, because it does require extra VRAM to run. And if we run out of video memory, the FPS will actually be lower than it would have been with frame generation disabled. So yeah. Overall, the RTX 4060 still delivers a good experience at 1080p, although we start seeing problems with 8 gigabytes of memory. More and more games come out where 8 gigabytes is actually not enough to max out all the graphic settings, even though the GPU is capable of actually computing that. Using DLSS has become a necessity in graphically demanding games such as STALKER 2. No doubt that in 2025 there will be even more games like STALKER 2. So the RTX 4060 is kind of starting to age by now. And I think we are ready for the RTX 5060. I just hope that NVIDIA will give it more than 8 gigabytes of memory. Yeah, I really hope so. But the 5060 won't come out for a long while. We have no leaks, no news of possible release dates. Could be half a year from now, could be longer. In the meantime, the 4060 is still a pretty good choice. You'll be able to enjoy the games. If I were looking to spend around $300 on a new GPU, then the RTX 4060 would be my choice. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about the RTX 4060 in 2025? Will it survive the year? Will it not? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to reward my work with a like. That helps out a lot. And subscribe for more if you haven't already. If you're interested in any of the products featured in this video, you can find them on Amazon at the links in the description below. It was I, Vadim. Until next time.